अभी बाहर के लड़के हसीन नहीं आए। A very good morning to the world chief guest. My topic as such is the need for decentralizing the political and economic powers in India. The societal setup made the man to realize a need for administration, and the process of governance has since been evolving. It requires a constitutional framework which gives the executives an authority, so to say, a power. And I wish to clarify here that power doesn't confer a privilege. It confers a responsibility. Mahatma Gandhi, one of the ardent supporters of Swaraj, advocated complete political and economic decentralization by the establishment of the Gram Panchayats and small-scale cottage industries within these communes so as to raise their income and incorporate a local self-governance. And the three-tier structure of the Panchayati Raj was really the basis which could have supported the governance in its real sense. And while as Lord Ripon was the first official authority to come up with such a governance, but tracing back the Indian history, it was always testified since the times of Manu to Chanakya, to the Guptas, to the Mughals, that India stood to be united only when there was real decentralization. Now, the very first setback to the concept of decentralization was rightly at the time of the framing of the Constitution, when in the federal structure, the powers were distributed between the Union and the states, allotting 97 subjects to the Union list and 66 to the state list. As regards the distribution of the economic powers, the major items of taxation, whether direct or indirect, were given to the states, and as a consequence, the states have to remain upon the mercy of the center, which I was saying that have the main and the most important of all the taxation powers. And this centralization in its repercussions has led to instability, inequality, injustice, lack of development, and in its furtherance, a complete instability and anarchy in different parts of the country, sometimes in Punjab, sometimes in J&K, a Maoist movement, an exiled movement, and so on, destroying the very fabric of Indian democracy at the grassroots level. This was not the dream cherished for by the Indian fighters who fought for freedom. ये दाग दाग उजाला, ये शब गजीदा शहर, वो इंतजार था जिसका, ये वो शहर तो नहीं. Now, the theme of lack of decentralization, also seen in the states as well, speaks of a complete reversal of the 73rd Amendment of the Indian Constitution. The Panchayati Raj institutions, as recommended by the Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, and their establishment whereof is incorporated in the directive principles of state policy. The municipalities, the district development boards have all been institutionalized by the too much interference of the politicians and the bureaucrats, rendering them dysfunctional. And as a result, a common villager has been deprived of the basic human rights and is facing the life of a destitute. This is indeed a massacre of the Indian democracy. हाथों में ना कोई खंजर, दामन पे ना कोई दाल, तुम कत्ल कर रहे हो या कोई करामात. Economic centralization, which was pursued by the Indian government till 1990, had made us to witness a situation which had an inflation rate of 14.1%, a mere growth rate of 3.3%, a foreign exchange at $1.1, and an answer to all this was found in the policies of liberalization, globalization, and privatization, which are the true faces of decentralization. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. With the change in the guard at the center in the late 70s and the early 80s, dozens of state governments were toppled overnight by the governors under the garb of the Article 356 of Indian Constitution. And I have a reason to believe that had not the apex court of the country intervened and adjudicated in S.R. Bomai's case, such acts of the government would have still not been justiciable and subject to judicial review, and the whole of this this nation, the whole of my India would have been balkanized. Honorable judges, a pluralistic country like India can find a solution to all its vexed problems only by decentralizing the political and economic powers of the country from the center to the states and from the states to the villages. There is a strong case, no doubt, with the center to be strong and have uninterrupted control over defense, foreign affairs, currency, and all. And this also makes us to believe that simultaneously there is a strong case with the states to be strong, raise their own income, raise their own resources, and support their own administration. Equally, there is a strong case with the villages to be self-sufficient, to have an economic independence, so to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not forget that India is a country with more than 100 crore people. If we do not centralize what we have, we cannot make it to come at the level of a superpower. And I wish to say here that all the problems, all the topics of the day are indeed able to be actualized and realized only and only if we decentralize the economic and political powers of India. Thank you.